You say you want it, but do you? Do you want it bad enough to bleed for it, to cry for it, to lose sleep, lose comfort, lose friends, just to reach it? Because if you don't, that's okay, but don't lie to yourself. Don't say you're chasing a dream when you're really jogging behind it, keeping just enough distance so it never hurts too much. See, wanting something, that's easy. Everybody wants something. A better body, a stronger mind, a bigger life. But the real question is, what are you willing to give up for it? Are you willing to get up early when the bed is warm? Are you willing to stay late when the world has clocked out? Are you willing to look stupid, to be laughed at, to fail, over and over and over again? How badly do you want it? Because wanting is cheap, but showing up when it's hard, staying in the fight when you feel small, that's what sets people apart. It's not about talent, it's not about luck, it's about fire. That burn inside that doesn't go out, even when everything around you tries to smother it. The truth is, most people want easy wins. They want praise without the pain, results without the grind. But if you really want it, you'll take the punches. You'll take the silence. You'll take the days when nothing makes sense and keep going anyway. Because deep down, your reason is louder than your excuses. Your future is clearer than your fear. And the voice inside you that says, I'm not done yet, is stronger than the one that says, I can't. They'll say you're obsessed. Let them. They'll say you've changed. You have. You're not like them. You're not normal. Because normal gave up a long time ago. Normal folds under pressure. Normal settles for maybe someday. But not you. You want it more than air, more than comfort, more than approval. You don't need everyone to understand you. You just need to understand yourself. Why you're doing this. Why it matters. Why this version of you won't quit. You think greatness feels good all the time? It doesn't. You think success is always sunshine and clapping hands? It's not. It's tears in the shower. It's quiet nights full of doubt. It's empty rooms where you train alone while the world scrolls and sleeps. But then, one day, you look back and you realize every step, every sacrifice, every broken piece of you was building something unshakable. And the pain, the fear, the loneliness, it didn't break you, it built you. So I'll ask you again, how badly do you want it? Do you want it enough to be uncomfortable, enough to be misunderstood, enough to work when no one is watching and grind when no one is clapping? Enough to look in the mirror and say, I don't care what I was yesterday, this is who I am now. Because when you want something that badly, you don't wait for motivation. You move, you act, you keep going. You don't pray for it, you prepare for it. You don't hope for it, you train for it. You don't beg for it, you become it. This life, it owes you nothing, not a damn thing. But you owe yourself everything, every second, every shot, every chance. So take the hits, take the silence, take the long way. And when your knees shake and your hands tremble and you feel like breaking, don't. And remember why you started. Remember who you were when you had nothing but a dream. Because that person, that hungry, tired, scared kid who still moved forward, that's who you fight for. So no matter how long it takes, how heavy it gets, how dark it feels, you keep showing up, not because it's easy, not because you're fearless, but because you want it badly. You ever wonder why it hurts so much sometimes? Why chasing a dream can feel more like drowning than flying? It's because the closer you get to something real, the louder your fear becomes. Your doubt, that inner voice that says, what if I'm not enough? What if I'm just pretending? What if I fail in front of everyone? But listen to me, you're not pretending, you're doing the work, you're showing up. And every time you take one more step forward, you're proving the voice wrong. You're proving you belong. The fear you feel, that's not weakness. It means you care. It means this matters. It means there's something in your soul worth fighting for. And that's rare. Because most people never even get that far. They settle. They numb themselves. They lower the bar so they never feel the pain of missing it. But you're raising it. You're reaching for something higher, even if it scares you. You say, what if I fail? But what if you don't? What if you fly? What if everything you've been through wasn't punishment but preparation? Because look at you, still here, still standing. They tried to break you. Life tried to break you. And you bent, sure, but you never snapped. So why stop now? Why let the fear of not being good enough stop you from becoming great? Every scar on your heart is proof. Proof that you fought. Proof that you lived. Proof that you cared enough to keep going. People will tell you, don't get your hopes up. But what kind of life is that? If hope is a risk, take it. If dreaming makes you vulnerable, dream harder. If failure is a price, pay it. Because a life without risk, without passion, without hunger, that's not life. That's just breathing. So yeah, maybe you're tired. Maybe you've fallen down more times than you can count. Maybe the people around you don't understand. Maybe you've been laughed at, overlooked, doubted by the very people you thought would believe in you. But here's what they don't know. You've already decided. You've already made up your mind. And that's more powerful than anything they can say. Because when someone with nothing decides they want everything, that's when history is made. That's when you rise. And no, it won't be pretty. You'll fail. You'll mess up. You'll have days where it feels like none of it matters. But it does. It all matters. Every sleepless night, every rejected call, every silent morning where you had to pick yourself up because no one else did. All of it. It builds you. It carves you into someone unshakable. Into someone who doesn't just want success, but earns it. And when you get there, when you finally break through, don't forget who you were. Don't forget the version of you who held it all together when it was all falling apart. Don't forget the tears, the silence, the doubts. They were never signs of weakness. They were signs of growth. So when they ask, how did you do it? You won't say luck. You won't say talent. You'll say, because I wanted it, badly. And I never stopped. You see, the world will try to measure you by numbers, by likes, by bank accounts. But the real measure is in how hard you fought when no one was watching, how deep you dug when everyone else gave up, how loud your heart beat when the world tried to make you silent. This is your life, your dream, your moment. So ask yourself right now, how badly do I want it? And if the answer is everything, then don't hold back. Don't look for shortcuts. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Start right now. Start with the broken pieces. Start with the doubt. Start with whatever you have left, because that's enough. And so are you. You've come this far. You've carried the weight. Now it's time to move. This is no longer just about wanting. It's about doing. It's about becoming. You don't need anyone's permission. Not your past. Not your pain. Not your fear. Your next step is yours alone. No one else can walk it for you. No one else can want it for you. So stop asking for signs. Stop waiting for clarity. There is no magic moment. Only now. Only this. Only you. Choosing to act. The truth is, there's never a right time. There's only the time you decide to stop making excuses. And I get it. Action is terrifying. You might lose. You might fall. But staying still, that's worse. Because at least failure moves you forward. At least falling means you tried. And trying is how you grow. No one who ever built anything great did it without breaking. No one who ever rose from the ashes escaped the fire. So don't be afraid to burn a little. Let the old version of you fall apart. Let it crack. Let it shatter. That's not your end. That's your beginning. You've got one shot at this life. And no matter how broken it feels, no matter how far behind you think you are, you're not out of time. Because as long as there's breath in your body, there's fight in your soul. So fight. Not with fists, not with rage. Fight with focus. Fight with clarity. Fight with the kind of energy that says, I will not be forgotten. I will not stay small. I will not die with my potential buried inside me. Because that's the tragedy, isn't it? Not death, but dying full of songs unsung, books unwritten, dreams unlived. But that's not your story. Not if you choose different. Not if you rise. You want to make people proud. Start by making yourself proud. You want to inspire the world? Start by lighting your own fire. You want love? Love the person you're becoming. You want peace? Earn it through battle. You want to matter? Be relentless. Because legacy isn't built by chance. It's built by those who refuse to quit. The ones who stayed up late, got up early, cried in the bathroom, smiled in public, and kept pushing when the world told them to stop. Be that person. And don't you dare shrink. Not now. Not when you've come this far. If the door's locked, kick it open. If the path's blocked, build a new one. If no one believes in you, believe harder. The question was never, can you? It's always been, will you? Because deep down, you know the answer. You've always known. You were made for this. You were made to climb, to fight, to overcome, to write a story no one else could write. So write it. And when they ask, years from now, how you did it, how you turned the impossible into real life, you'll look them in the eyes and say, because I refused to quit. Because I wanted it more than comfort, more than fear, more than failure. Because I wanted it badly, and I earned it. They won't see the nights you doubted everything. They won't feel the weight you carried in silence. They won't know how many times you almost gave up. But you will. You'll remember every time you whispered to yourself, one more try. You'll remember the nights you screamed into your pillow, but still got up the next day. Because when you want it badly enough, you don't chase dreams for applause. You chase them because they're yours, because something inside you won't let go. Some people are fine just existing. Clock in, clock out, watch the same shows, live the same year over and over again. But not you. That's not enough. It was never enough, because you want more. Not more things, more meaning, more impact, more truth. You want to feel something real. You want to stand at the edge of your limits and jump. And even if you fall, at least you'll know you tried, you lived, you gave a damn. That puts you in rare company, because most people run from pain, run from hard, run from discomfort. But not you. You run toward it. You chase the resistance, because you know that's where growth hides. Comfort never changed anyone. Comfort never built anything great. Comfort never left a legacy. Pain did. Failure did. Discomfort did. Every challenge you face is a doorway. But most people never step through. They stand outside and knock, then blame the world when no one answers. But you kick the door down. You walk through, even if your knees shake, because you want it, badly. You want to be more than your story, more than your trauma, more than the names they called you, or the doubts they planted in your head. You want to prove to yourself, not just the world, that you can rise, that you can become something your past would never have predicted. And that's the real flex, isn't it? Not the car, not the title, not the followers, but the man or woman staring back at you in the mirror, clear-eyed, battle-tested, unbreakable. That's what you're chasing, not a finish line, a version of yourself you haven't met yet. And every day, you either step closer to that version or further away. So decide, right now, will you keep pretending, or will you finally become the person you know you were meant to be? Not in some far-off dream, not after one more excuse, but today, right here, right now. Because that version of you, the one that doesn't flinch, the one that doesn't beg for approval, the one that shows up when it's hard, that version is waiting, but it won't wait forever. The clock's ticking. The time is now, not tomorrow, not when things settle down. Now, because time isn't loyal. It doesn't wait for the ready or the brave. It just moves, and one day you'll look back, and you'll either be proud or full of regret. You choose. How badly do you want it? You've been through too much to stop now. Too much doubt. Too many almosts. Too many nights lying in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking, is this it? Is this all I am? And maybe it was easier to pretend, to say you didn't really care, to say the dream faded, to say you're fine. But deep down, you're not fine. You're frustrated. You're restless. Because the truth never left you. That fire, still burning, buried maybe, but alive. And no, it hasn't been fair. You didn't start with much. You weren't handed a path. You weren't born into yeses. You had to carve your way out of the no's. But maybe that's the gift. Because when you earn something, when you fight tooth and nail for it, it means more. It's yours. Not luck, not handouts, just grit. So let me ask you again, how badly do you want it? Enough to be the villain in someone else's story because you chose your dream over their expectations? Enough to walk alone because the crowd was comfortable with average? Enough to look stupid, mess up publicly, fail loudly, and get back up anyway? Because people will judge you, they'll question you, they'll doubt you, until they can't ignore you. And when that day comes, when they finally see what you built, what you survived, what you created from nothing, you won't need to say a word. Your life will speak for you. But that life doesn't just appear, it's built, piece by piece, day by day. When it's boring, when it's lonely, when it doesn't feel like it's working. And that's the part they don't show. The grind when no one is clapping, the work when no one is watching, the faith when there's nothing but silence. But that's where legends are made, in the silence, in the doubt, in the trenches. Right now you have two options, hide or rise. You can stay safe, keep your head down, stay invisible and tell yourself you're waiting for the right moment. Or you can burn the map, leave behind the comfort, step into the unknown and bet everything on yourself. And yeah, maybe you'll lose, maybe you'll fall, but maybe you'll fly. And even if you don't, you'll become someone powerful, not because you always won, but because you never walked away. They can take your job, your title, your money, but they can't take your will. They can't take your courage. They can't take your refusal to quit. That's yours, and it's enough. So stand up, straighten your spine, look your fear in the face and say, you can slow me down, but you will not stop me. You've got work to do, a life to build, a dream to protect, and nobody's going to do it for you. So what's it going to be? More excuses or more action? More what ifs or more I did it anyway? More regret or more legacy? The world isn't waiting for you to be perfect. It's waiting for you to show up, raw, real, ready, flawed but fierce, scared but standing, and fully alive. You don't need a plan, you need a decision, right here, right now. Do you want it badly enough to change your life for it? Then stop hoping, and start becoming. This is the part no one talks about, the part where it's not exciting anymore, where progress is invisible, where effort starts to feel like shouting into the void, where you wake up tired, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and you wonder, is this really worth it? Yes, this is the part that makes you, because anybody can hustle when it's easy, anybody can smile when they're winning, but only the real ones keep pushing when there's no scoreboard, no cheers, no promise of payoff. Discipline is love in action, self-respect in motion. It's showing up for your future, even when your present feels hollow. It's brushing off the dirt when you fall, not because someone told you to, but because you know you're not done yet. So yeah, you're tired, you're doubting, you've got every reason to slow down, but you won't, because that fire in you, that's not decoration, it's your weapon, your compass, your reason. You're not doing this just to say you tried. You're doing this because something inside you refuses to settle. You weren't built for half versions of yourself. You weren't born to float. You were meant to rise, and rising costs something. It costs you comfort. It costs you approval. It costs you that old version of yourself who gave up too easily. But the trade is worth it. Because what you get in return? Self-belief, inner peace, a purpose that no one can take from you. And that kind of power, it's rare, because most people are chasing shortcuts. But you're chasing truth. So let's talk about sacrifice. Let's talk about the things you'll have to leave behind, the friends who don't get it, the distractions that numb you, the habits that used to feel good, but keep you stuck in a life that doesn't feel like yours. Let them go. You can't carry dead weight to your next level. This climb is brutal enough. Don't drag anchors with you. Choose your pain. The pain of growth or the pain of regret. You want it? Then protect your energy. Protect your time. Protect your vision. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need to stop betraying yourself. You've lied to yourself long enough. Said, maybe next year long enough. Said, I'm not ready long enough. You are ready. You've always been. You're not waiting on life. Life is waiting on you. So move, even if you're limping, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble. Move, because action creates clarity. Movement builds momentum. And effort, relentless, unapologetic effort, turns fear into fuel. Every second you delay, your dream gets quieter. The fire dims, the doubt gets louder. But every second you act, every word you write, every rep you grind, every moment you choose to show up instead of give up, you take your life back. So yeah, people might think you're crazy, obsessed, too intense. Let them. Because you weren't put here to blend in. You were put here to break patterns, to break cycles, to break limits. So what if they don't get it? They don't need to. You're not doing this for applause. You're doing it because you made yourself a promise. That you'd stop living small. That you'd stop folding every time it got uncomfortable. And now, it's time to keep that promise. So again, how badly do you want it? One day, someone will ask you, how did you do it? And you'll pause, because they're not really asking about the outcome. They're asking about the fight, about the nights you almost broke, about the days you wanted to quit but didn't. They're asking about the war inside, the part of you that wanted to stay safe, stay small, stay silent, and the part of you that stood up and said, no, I'm not done. And that answer, that fire, it won't come from a textbook, it won't come from a TED Talk, it'll come from your life, your scars, your sweat, because this isn't theory, this isn't motivation for likes, this is your reality. You're not here to coast, you're not here to just exist, you're here to shake the ground beneath you. So don't chase what's easy, don't chase what's popular, chase what sets your soul on fire, even if it's lonely, even if it takes longer, even if nobody claps when you do it anyway, because you know what it's worth, you know what you're worth. And someday when your body is tired, when your hair is grey, when your hands carry the story of 1,000 decisions, you'll sit back and you'll ask yourself, did I show up for my life? Did I answer the call? Did I become who I was meant to be? And if you can say yes, if you can whisper that truth to yourself without shame, then it won't matter how rich you were, or how many people followed you, or what they wrote in your obituary, because you'll know you lived with purpose, you lived fully, you didn't flinch, you didn't hide, you chased something greater than fear. And that's legacy. See, people think legacy is something you leave behind. But the truth, legacy is something you live out loud. Every single day. It's how you show up in the face of doubt, how you treat people when no one's watching, how you speak to yourself when the mirror shows the truth. Legacy is in the hard conversations, in the 5 a.m. workouts, in the drafts no one reads, the calls no one hears, the sacrifices no one sees. It's not built in a moment, it's built in the invisible grind, and you're in it now. So don't stop. Don't stop because it hurts. Don't stop because it's slow. Don't stop because it doesn't look like what you imagined. Stop only when you're proud. Stop only when you've gone so far. You can't even see the old version of you anymore. The one who hesitated, the one who waited, the one who doubted. Leave them behind. They served their purpose. They got you here. But now, it's time to evolve. This is your becoming. The part where you stop chasing permission and start chasing power. The kind of power that can't be taken, only earned. So again, just in case you forgot, how badly do you want it? Badly enough to be misunderstood. Badly enough to let go of comfort. Badly enough to be the one who kept going when everybody else sat down. Then don't look back. Don't pause. Don't blink. Run. Run like your life depends on it, because in a way, it does. This isn't just about dreams. It's about who you are when the world stops clapping, when no one's checking in, when it's just you, your voice, and the next step. Will you take it? Because everything you want, everything you could be, lives on the other side of that decision. So decide, and let the world feel your footsteps. You've made it to the edge. This is where it gets real. No more theories, no more what if, no more waiting for the perfect moment, the right mood, the green light from people who were never meant to drive your life. This is where you step up or step aside. Right now, life is asking you one final question. Are you done pretending? Pretending you're fine with average? Pretending you don't want more? Pretending you can ignore that itch in your soul that tells you, I was built for something bigger? You hear it. You always have. That whisper behind your doubts, beneath your pain, buried under every scar. Keep going. Because the version of you that finishes this, the one who stands at the top, not just proud but transformed, they're watching, they're waiting, and the only way you'll ever meet them is if you take this next step. And this one won't feel safe, it won't feel easy, it won't feel guaranteed. Because it's not, but it's real, and real is what you're here for. Not fake comfort, not borrowed purpose, not dead dreams wrapped in excuses. Real effort, real discipline, real pain, real power. And real power isn't loud. It's not about showing off, it's quiet. It's built in the dark, alone. When you choose to do the hard thing again, and again, and again. Not for applause, for alignment, with who you really are, and who you refuse to be. So what now? Are you going to fold, or are you going to fight? You've already come this far. You've already endured the breakdowns, the doubt, the nights no one saw, the tears no one asked about. Don't let it be for nothing. Turn it into fuel. Turn it into rage. Turn it into silence-breaking, ground-shaking proof that you are not done yet. This is your fire, your chapter, your fight. And maybe no one believes in you right now. Maybe they wrote you off. Maybe they walked away. Let them, because the story doesn't belong to them. It belongs to the one who keeps going, the one who wants it so badly they'll go through hell just to hold it in their hands, the one who doesn't wait for the stars to align. They build a rocket and launch anyway, so go. Now bleed for it, sweat for it, sacrifice for it, fall and get up for it, work through the pain for it, stand alone for it, whatever it takes, do it. Not just for the dream, for who you become in the process, because that's the real win. Not the trophy, not the praise, not the likes. Becoming someone you respect when no one else is watching. That's power, that's legacy, that's how you change your life. Not all at once, but one decision at a time. So make the one that matters now. Step forward. Let go of who you were, and become who you were always meant to be. You've probably asked yourself 100 times, why me? Why does it have to be so hard? Why do I have to struggle while they seem to coast? Why can't I catch a break? But that's the wrong question. The real question is, why not you? Why shouldn't it be you who climbs out of the pit? Why shouldn't it be you who rewrites the story? Why shouldn't it be you who proves that pain doesn't get the final word? The truth is, the universe doesn't hand out dreams to people who can't handle them. If you feel it, if it lives in you, then it's yours. But you'll have to take it. You'll have to fight like hell for it. And you'll have to become someone most people don't have the courage to be. Focused, relentless, disciplined, unshakable. Because this isn't about doing something amazing once. It's about doing something honest every day, even when it's small, even when it's boring, even when it's brutal. They don't teach this in school. They don't talk about this kind of work. The inner war, the mental rewiring, the screaming match between your past and your future. They don't talk about how lonely it gets, how you'll question everything, how success, real success, often feels like failure in disguise because it's so damn slow. But here's the truth. This is where most people quit. Right here, right now. This level, this quiet, grueling, nothing feels like it's working phase. This is where most give up, not because they couldn't do it, but because they couldn't feel it. They were waiting to feel ready, to feel inspired, to feel like they were making progress. But feelings lie, and if you let them, they'll trap you, keep you circling the same small life while your dream gathers dust. So no, this isn't about feelings. It's about action. It's about choice. It's about moving forward when everything in your body says stop. You don't wait to be chosen. You choose yourself. You don't wait for confidence. You build it by doing the thing afraid. You don't wait for the path to clear. You clear it yourself. With bloody hands, if you have to. That's what this life demands. So how badly do you want it? Enough to lose sleep? Enough to face rejection? Enough to keep moving forward with no applause, no backup, no shortcut? Enough to stop living for the weekend and start building a life you don't need a break from? Because if you want peace, earn it. If you want joy, fight for it. If you want purpose, create it. No one is handing out second chances. No one's coming to save you. No one owes you a damn thing. But that's good, because it means you don't owe anyone an apology either. This is your shot. And yeah, it might not look like much right now. It might be messy. It might be falling apart. But it's yours, and that means it's worth saving. So get back up one more time, every time, until getting up becomes who you are. Not someone who never fails, but someone who never stays down. They'll try to define you by your failures, by your delays, by the years you were lost. Let them, because one day they'll see what you built from the ashes of not enough. And they won't believe it, but you will. You'll know the truth, that this was never about the odds. It was about the fight. It was about how far you were willing to go when everything told you to stop. And that's what separates those who try from those who become. So ask yourself again, how badly do you want it? Badly enough to live uncomfortably, to sacrifice popularity for peace, to disappoint others before you disappoint yourself? Then stop waiting, start becoming. Build it, brick by brick, day by day, even if it's slow, even if it hurts, even if no one claps, because one day you won't have to prove anything. You'll just live it. You won't say, I hope. You'll say, I did. And that right there is worth it all. Let them doubt you. Let them say it's too late, that you missed your shot, that you're too old, too young, too broken, too strange. Let them talk. Because while they're talking, you're building. While they're watching reruns of their own excuses, you're rewriting your future. That's the difference. They wait. You move. They wish. You work. They look for signs. You become one. You want to know what separates winners from dreamers? It's not talent, it's not money, it's not luck. It's the decision, the violent, non-negotiable decision that you will not be denied. That no matter how long it takes, how many times you fail, how many people walk away, you will not quit. Because the goal isn't just to win, it's to become the kind of person who doesn't need a win to keep going. The kind of person who shows up no matter what. Who keeps going when it's embarrassing, who works in the shadows while others chase spotlight. That's where greatness is born, not on stage, not in the comments, but in the silence, in the 4 a.m. decisions, in the lonely reps, in the quiet where your excuses get loud and you tell them to shut the hell up. This is the grind, and if you don't love the grind, you'll never survive the glory, because success isn't relief, it's responsibility, it's pressure, it's being relentlessly consistent long after the excitement fades. And if you can't do that now, when no one's watching, you're not ready for when they are. You want to lead, then lead yourself first. You want to inspire others, then inspire your own damn mind. You want the life, then earn the habits that support it. You want to win, then lose enough times to understand what winning really costs. And don't look away, don't look for detours, because everything you've tried to avoid, all the pain, all the self-doubt, all the fear, that's the training ground. That's where the future version of you is being built. Not in the comfort, not in the praise, but in the hurt you kept walking through. So keep walking. No matter what the voice in your head says, no matter how many times you fall, no matter how far behind you feel. Because if you don't quit, you can't lose. It's not possible. You either win, or you learn and come back stronger. But only if you keep moving. The world doesn't need more people with opinions. It needs people with grit, with heart, with that quiet, steady burn that says, I'm not done until I've given everything. So give everything. Give your energy. Give your courage. Give your flaws. Give your fear. Give your past. And let it all fuel the future you're building now. This is your moment, not next year. Not when you feel better. Not when someone says, you've got what it takes. Now, because this is what it means to want it badly. To crawl when you can't walk. To whisper yes when the world screams no. To face yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not who I want to be yet, but I'm not going anywhere, and I will earn this. Day by day, thought by thought, step by painful step, you're going to show them. But more than that, you're going to show yourself. Because here's the truth they won't tell you. There is no finish line. There's no magical moment where you arrive, where everything makes sense, where your fears pack up and leave, where your self-doubt sends a resignation letter. It doesn't happen like that. What happens is simpler, harder, better. You evolve. You get stronger, smarter, more grounded, more awake. Not because life gets easier, but because you get real. You stop chasing motivation and start chasing mastery. You stop chasing feelings and start trusting standards. You hold yourself to something higher. Not because someone else said so, but because you've been in the dirt long enough to know what it costs to rise. And you don't want to go back. Ever. That old life, that old version of you, too small, too afraid, too distracted by what didn't matter. You're not that person anymore. You can't be. You've outgrown the hiding. You've outgrown the lies. You've outgrown the comfort of shrinking. Now, you stand tall. You build routines that don't care if you're tired. You build habits that show up even when you don't want to. You build a mind that says, we don't negotiate with excuses anymore. And suddenly, you become dangerous, not in the loud, aggressive way, but in the quiet, undeniable way that says, I am not going back. Not to the life where you needed approval, not to the days where your worth depended on your likes, not to the fear of failing, because now you fear wasting your potential more. You fear becoming the person who almost changed, who almost did the work, who almost became what they were born to be. You fear standing at the edge of your life and realizing you never actually showed up. So you keep going, even on the days you feel invisible, even on the days you feel like a fraud, even when it seems like everyone else is winning faster, louder, easier. You keep going, because your pace doesn't matter, your direction does. You're not in competition with them, you're in competition with the part of you that keeps whispering, it's okay to quit. And every day, you look that part in the face and say, not today, not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Because how badly do you want it? Badly enough to suffer for it, to be patient for it, to rebuild yourself piece by piece, even when no one is clapping for you. Badly enough to go without praise, without recognition, without validation, because the prize isn't out there. It's not in their approval. It's in who you're becoming. It's in knowing, I kept going when it would have been easier to quit. That's the win, not the money, not the title, not the car, the house, the applause. The win is waking up and knowing you're in alignment with what you said you'd do. The win is living with fire in your chest and peace in your gut, because you know, deep down, you are finally on your path, and nothing will make you leave it again. You ever wonder why some people make it, why certain people, same background, same pain, same fear, rise when others just float? It's not luck, it's not fate, it's refusal. Refusal to give in, refusal to live a life that feels like a shadow of what it could be, refusal to keep breaking promises to themselves. That's it, that's the secret. They stopped making excuses and started making moves, because there comes a moment, not loud, not dramatic, but absolute. A moment when you say, I'm done waiting for the right mood, the right mindset, the right energy, the right people to believe in you, the right opportunity to fall into your lap. That moment, that's your shift. That's when average becomes impossible because you know too much now. You've seen what you're capable of. You've tasted it. You've caught glimpses in the mirror, even when you were tired, even when you were hurting. And now, there's no going back. Not really. Even if you tried to fake it, pretend you didn't want it, you'd feel it crawling under your skin. Because once you've seen your potential, once you've caught fire even for a second, the small life becomes unbearable. You want truth? Here it is. You were never meant to live numb, to live waiting, to live apologizing for who you are. You were meant to create, to stretch, to burn, to rise. Not because the world needs more noise, but because you need to know what's possible when you finally stop running from yourself. So what do you do now? You build. Every day, no matter what. You build focus. You build strength. You build silence around your purpose and shut the world out if you have to. You build character when no one's watching, so when the world finally does, you're already solid. You build yourself into someone unshakable, because the goal isn't to feel good every day. It's to be so aligned with your purpose that even on the hard days, you're proud to keep going. You stop chasing motivation. You start chasing identity. You ask, what kind of person would already have the life I want? Then you become them, not someday. Now even when it's uncomfortable, especially when it's uncomfortable, you don't fake it. You earn it. Every drop of sweat, every lonely morning, every night you talk yourself out of quitting, you earn it. And when it gets tough, and it will, you don't ask, is it worth it? You ask, am I worth it? And the answer better be yes, loud, unapologetic, unshakable. Because when you finally realize what you're fighting for, not just a dream, not just success, but you, the game changes. You're no longer pushing just to achieve something. You're pushing because the alternative is a betrayal of who you were always meant to be. You either stay loyal to your comfort or loyal to your calling. Pick one, because the world, it'll keep moving with or without you. So the question remains, how badly do you want it? Enough to become someone new? Enough to bury the old version of you that kept hesitating? Enough to burn the backup plan and go all in on yourself? Because that's what it takes. And if you've read this far, if you've stayed in the fire this long, you already know the answer. You're not done. You've barely started. Let me tell you what happens when you go all in. Things break, comfort breaks, old beliefs shatter, your relationships shift, your routines collapse under the weight of your ambition. You start to lose things, and it hurts, but it's not loss, it's clearing. Clearing space for the version of you that can handle what's next, because you can't hold on to everything and still rise. You can't be who you were and who you're becoming at the same time. You've got to let go of who they said you were, of who you pretended to be, of what felt safe but kept you small. You've got to become ruthless, not with the world, but with your distractions, with your patterns, with your doubt. Because greatness doesn't come from addition, it comes from subtraction. Removing everything that doesn't serve, everything that dims the flame, everything that tells you to play it safe when you were born to take the shot. And listen, not everyone's going to clap for you. Some will say you've changed. You have. They'll say you're intense. You are. They'll say you're too much. Good. Let them say it, because they're too little, too lazy, too scared to bet on themselves. So they'll mock you for betting on you. Let them watch. And when they do, when they see you rising, evolving, outgrowing everything they said you'd never surpass, don't explain. Just keep building. That's how you win. Not through revenge, not through noise, but through results, through doing the thing they said was impossible. Not once, but every single day, without their permission, without their validation, with just your grit, your pain, your hunger, and your absolute refusal to die ordinary. Because if you want it badly enough, you stop asking how long it will take. You decide it will take as long as it takes, and you show up every single day, even when the progress is invisible, even when no one sees the work, even when you start to wonder if it's working at all. You keep going, because that's the gap. That's the place where everyone quits, except you. And that gap, that's where power is earned. So when you're in it, when the finish line feels like a rumor, when every step feels like a punch, don't stop. Smile, because you've arrived at the exact place where the rest turn back and the few become unstoppable. This is the separation point between those who had potential and those who had the guts to live it. You want to be remembered. You want to make noise that echoes when you're gone. You want your name to mean something more than survival. Then keep going, keep bleeding, keep rising. You are the storm now. You are not fragile. You were never fragile. That voice in your head that says you're not ready, it's scared. But you're not scared. You're waking up to the fact that nobody's coming to fix your life, waking up to the fact that you can hurt and still move. That pain doesn't mean stop. It means you're in the process. You're not broken. You're under construction. So build with what you've got. Build with the cracks in your voice, the trembling in your hands, the history in your spine. Because greatness doesn't show up with a red carpet. It shows up in pieces, and you put those pieces together with grit, with silence, with sleepless nights and decisions no one will ever know you made. That's what it means to want it bad. It's not about screaming louder than everyone. It's about staying when they all left. It's about believing when even your own reflection has doubts. It's about grinding through the noise and finding your signal. Because somewhere inside you, you already know who you are. Not the edited version, not the one filtered by fear or shaped by failure. The real you, the one who doesn't need permission, the one who's not asking, "Can I?" anymore. The one who's just saying, watch me build, watch me fall and get up, watch me lose and still learn, watch me show up when every reason told me not to. Because I didn't come this far to be almost, to be kind of, to be close to who I could have been. I came to become. To build something no one else can replicate, because no one else has your scars, no one else has your fight, no one else has walked through your fire and kept walking. So keep walking, past the fear, past the failure, past the breaking points that didn't break you. Because on the other side of this, it's not applause, it's not trophies, it's clarity. The moment where everything slows down and you realize you didn't just chase the dream, you caught it, you bled for it, you earned it, you lived it, and now it's yours. But you won't stop there, because when you get this far, when you feel this level of power, you don't stop. You multiply. You take everything you've learned, the pain, the silence, the nights that felt too long, and you turn it into something that outlives you. You become proof. You become the blueprint. You become the reminder to someone else out there that they're not crazy for believing in more. You become the fire they need on the day they almost gave up, and you'll never even know it. But it'll happen, because energy spreads, and when you burn this bright, you light up more than your own path. You become a torch. So keep burning. Don't stop. Not now, not ever. You didn't come here for permission. You didn't come here to be liked. You came here because there's something inside you that won't shut up. Call it purpose, call it fire, call it whatever you want. Just don't ignore it. Because that voice, that tension, that itch that no routine can scratch, it's your soul remembering who it is. And now it's demanding that you remember too. It's not going to be easy. It's not supposed to be. The process of becoming never is. It rips away everything that's fake. It breaks the patterns you've been hiding behind. It strips you bare until all that's left is something real. You, not the version that plays it safe. Not the one that keeps quiet to stay accepted. Not the one that keeps saying maybe later. The you that's ready now. Because time, it's running. It's not asking if you're ready. It's moving with or without you. And the only thing worse than failing is regretting that you never even tried. One day, you'll sit with yourself. No noise, no distractions, just you and the sum of your choices. And the only question that'll matter is, did I show up for myself? Not for the world, not for the title, not for the applause, but for the younger version of you that once whispered, I hope I get to do something great. That version, they're still watching. So live in a way that would make them proud, make them point and say, we became that. You don't have to change the world all at once, but you do have to stop hiding from the one thing you can control, your effort. Effort is the currency of self-respect. It's not about outcome, it's about truth, about knowing you didn't wait for greatness to land in your lap. You stood up and chased it, you built it, one brick, one broken moment, one decision at a time. And now, you don't need anyone to tell you you're on the right path, because you feel it. You feel it when you wake up and know exactly why you're getting out of bed. You feel it when you keep moving forward, even when it's hard. You feel it when you look in the mirror and finally recognize the person staring back. Not perfect, but real, solid, tested, yours. So what now? You keep going, you keep rising, you keep sacrificing comfort for clarity. You keep saying yes to your future and no to your fears. Because this isn't about a moment, this is a lifestyle, a code, a relentless pursuit of who you said you'd become. So don't let up. Not when you're tired, not when you're scared. Not when the world tells you to lower your standards. Hold the line. Because when you hold the line, when you keep walking through fire that would have burned the old you earn something no shortcut can give you. Pride. Not the kind that shouts, the kind that whispers. I did that. I didn't fold. I became who I said I would become. One day, the world's gonna ask for your story. And when they do, don't give them the highlight reel. Give them the truth. Tell them about the mornings you didn't want to get up, but did anyway. Tell them about the nights you cried alone, but didn't quit. Tell them how success didn't arrive in a lightning strike. It crawled in, slow and silent, earned through years of showing up for yourself when no one else would. Let them see the scars. Let them hear the cracks in your voice. Let them know you bled for this, because the world doesn't need another filtered version of fine. It needs real. It needs warriors. It needs you. The you that didn't give up when it got hard. The you that didn't wait to be ready. The you that finally said, if I have to walk alone, so be it. I'll walk with purpose, because that's what separates those who talk about change from those who become it. You don't need more advice, you don't need more quotes, you don't need a sign. You need to move, right now, imperfect, unpolished, unprepared, because momentum beats motivation every time, and the more you act, the more the fear fades. The more you move, the less you care about judgment. The more you grow, the less you recognize the version of you that once made excuses. That's the goal, isn't it? To outgrow the version of yourself that thought you couldn't do this. To look back one day and say, damn, I almost settled, but I didn't. You didn't stay small. You didn't play safe. You didn't silence your calling just to keep things normal. You chose fire. You chose faith. You chose the harder road because you knew what was waiting at the end. And maybe you don't know the full picture yet. Maybe you're still walking through the storm. Maybe you're still searching for the breakthrough. Good, because that means you're still in the fight. That means you haven't tapped out. That means your story is still being written. And if you keep going, if you keep showing up with tired feet, with shaky hands, with a heart that refuses to close, you will win. Not because you're lucky, not because it was easy, but because you were willing to suffer more than the average person was willing to try. Because you looked at every obstacle and said one thing, not enough to stop me. So what now? You double down, you train, you focus, you shut out the noise, you silence the opinions, you kill the excuses, and you build your peace, your power, your purpose, one brick at a time, one hard decision at a time, one unbreakable day after another. Because when you want it badly enough, you don't need constant proof. You become the proof. You ever realize how quiet success really is? How nobody sees the grind in real time? How the biggest shifts in your life don't come with fireworks, but with a whisper that says, keep going. No spotlight, no cheering crowd, just you, just that one small step, again and again and again and again, until the world has no choice but to notice. Because when you want it bad enough, you stop needing hype, you stop chasing adrenaline, you stop needing everything to feel perfect before you act. You move through fog, you move through fear, you move through the days where your mind is screaming to quit. And you move anyway, and slowly, almost without realizing it, you become someone who doesn't break when it gets hard. You become someone who looks pain in the eye and keeps going. You become someone who earns their pride one brutal, thankless, powerful step at a time. And suddenly, you're not the same. Not because everything got easier, but because you got harder to break. That's what this is really about. Not trophies, not validation, transformation. You want it? Then let it change you. Let it humble you. Let it sharpen you. Let it tear away the parts of you that only knew how to hide. This isn't about being fearless. This is about moving forward while afraid. It's about becoming the person you said you'd be when no one else believed you could. So yeah, you're going to lose sleep. You're going to lose comfort. You're going to lose friends who don't get it, but you'll gain something greater, self-respect. That kind of quiet, heavy, undeniable strength that no one can touch, because you know what it took. You know how close you were to quitting. You know how long you suffered in silence, and you did it anyway. That kind of energy, you can't fake that. You can't buy that. You earn that. And once you do, it changes the way you move. You don't beg anymore. You don't shrink. You don't wait for someone to hand you permission to chase your calling. You already gave it to yourself. So what do you do with that power? You use it. You pour it into the work. You pour it into every second, every rep, every choice. You pour it into the next person who needs to know it's possible. You become a force, because people don't need more influencers. They need examples. They need warriors. They need to see what it looks like when someone refuses to settle. You want to lead? Then bleed. Sacrifice. Own the pain and the power. Let it all mean something. Don't just chase the dream. Become the dream. So again, one last time, just to make sure you're still with me. How badly do you want it? You're not doing this just for results. You're doing it because you made yourself a promise, and this time, you're going to keep it. You're doing it because something inside you refused to die quietly. Because while everyone else chose comfort, you chose the climb. You chose the path that hurts now but pays later. You chose to let go of the easy life so you could earn a life that's real. And when it gets dark, and it will, you remember. You're not lost. You're not broken. You're just in the middle of becoming. Becoming someone who doesn't fold. Becoming someone who doesn't fake. Becoming someone whose presence alone says, this is what resilience looks like. Because one day, the struggle that's breaking you right now will become the story that builds someone else. And when that moment comes, you won't need to convince anyone you're strong. You'll walk into the room and they'll feel it. They'll see it in your eyes, hear it in your voice, recognize it in your calm. Because there's something about a person who's been through fire and didn't come out empty. You carry that heat with you. You carry that focus, that edge, the kind of edge that can't be taught, only earned. And while they're still talking about dreams, you're busy living yours, not by accident, not by luck, but by a series of brutal, bold decisions that most people weren't willing to make. You made them, and yeah, it cost you. People left, comfort disappeared, sleep became optional, self-doubt tried to take your voice, but you're still here, still going. And the longer you go, the clearer it becomes. You don't want a shortcut, you want the real thing, because shortcuts rob you of the strength you were meant to build along the way. And you're not here to be rescued. You're here to rise, to sharpen, to create a version of yourself so solid that no setback, no betrayal, no fear can undo it. So let the pain shape you, let the silence sharpen you, let the delays deepen you, let the hunger drive you, let the process mold you into something terrifyingly focused. You want to leave a mark on this world, then don't just survive. Dominate. Dominate your morning. Dominate your decisions. Dominate your mind before the world gets a chance to. And not in a loud way, not in a look at me, prove it to everyone kind of way. In a calm, I don't break under pressure way. In a way that says, I've already bled for this, so no, I won't apologize for earning it. This isn't about being the best. It's about being your best. It's about knowing you did the work, walked through the storm, and never once lowered your standard just to make someone else comfortable. Because the truth is, this was never about motivation. It was about the standard you set when no one else was looking. So here you are, one more day, one more step, one more shot to close the gap between who you are and who you could be. And this time, you don't flinch, you don't shrink, you don't wait for the fear to pass. You move anyway. And when you finally get there, when you finally start seeing it all come together, don't forget the version of you that started this, the tired version, the scared version, the quiet version that whispered, maybe I can. They didn't have a map, they didn't have a guarantee, but they had the guts to try. Honor them. Every time you want to quit, remember, you're standing on the courage of your past self, and every step forward is a thank you. Every act of discipline is a tribute. Every win, every lesson, every next level, it all stacks on top of the moment you chose to begin. So no, you don't stop now. You don't ease up when it starts to get good. You double down, because this isn't a sprint, it's not a trend. It's not about one big breakthrough. It's about living this, breathing it, owning it, every single day. No one's going to build your legacy for you. No one's going to hand you peace or pride or purpose. That's your job. You want love, give it. You want purpose, create it. You want strength, train for it. You want to live a life that echoes. Then show up like every breath matters, like every rep counts, like your name means something. Because if you're not fighting for that, what are you doing? Existing, surviving, waiting, number, not you. You were never meant to fade in the background. You were never meant to be almost. You were never meant to wonder what might have happened if you had just committed a little more. You were meant to go all in, even when your voice shakes, even when your knees tremble, even when you're building the thing while questioning if it'll stand. You were meant to do it anyway. That's the difference. That's the line between the ones who tried and the ones who finished. The ones who said, I wish, and the ones who said, I did. So which one are you? Because right now, you're writing that answer with every choice, with every alarm you hit snooze on, or every morning you rise like your future depends on it, because it does. Every time you talk yourself out of playing small, you shift the narrative. Every time you do the hard thing with no applause, you gain ground. And one day, all those invisible wins will catch up with you. They'll show up in your body, in your mindset, in your confidence, in your story. And when people say you changed, you'll say, no, I revealed who I really was. I stopped hiding. I stopped shrinking. I started choosing myself. And that choice, that changes everything. You want to know the real test? It's not what you do when you feel motivated. It's what you do after you've been knocked flat, when the hype's gone, when the results are slow, when the dream feels distant and your energy's gone dark. That's the proving ground. Anyone can chase a goal when it's sunny, but who are you when the rain won't stop, when the plan falls apart, when the voices say you were never good enough. That's when it counts. That's when you become dangerous. Because if you can move in that place, if you can show up, then there is nothing they can do to stop you. That's when they start to see it, not just in your work, but in your eyes. That look that says, I've been through worse than this, and I'm still here. That's not ego, that's earned. You don't get that from pretending. You get that from scars, from silence, from the days you did the work without a single ounce of energy left in you, but you showed up anyway. And now you've got momentum, not flashy, not loud, but deep, unshakable, real. And while they're still starting over, you're still climbing, still focused, still in motion. Not because you're lucky, but because you've made a choice that most people never will. To be consistent when motivation is dead. To be disciplined when no one's watching. To get better, not for a deadline, but for a lifetime. This is bigger than a goal now. This is your standard. This is your identity. And here's the most beautiful part. You're not even close to done. Because once you stop running from your potential and start running toward it, you realize you were never chasing the dream. The dream was chasing you, waiting for you to catch up, waiting for you to say, I'm done with average. I'm done making excuses. I'm done settling for less than everything I've got. Now it's your responsibility, not just to finish strong, but to keep evolving, to go further, to go deeper, to go again. And every time you feel like quitting, remember who you're doing this for. Not the doubters, not the crowd, not for revenge, not even for the version of you who started. You're doing this for the version of you still ahead. The one waiting at the top, the one who knows your full power, the one who didn't stop. That version is real, and they're counting on you to show up today. Not perfect, but present. Not ready, but willing. Not fearless, but relentless. You want it, then move like it, speak like it, live like it. And no matter how far you still have to go, never forget, you didn't come this far to question if it's possible. You came this far to prove that it is. Here's something nobody tells you until it's too late. Comfort is the enemy. It whispers, you've done enough. It tells you to take your foot off the gas. It convinces you to trade your future for a moment of ease. And if you listen to it long enough, you won't even realize when the fire goes out. But not you. You don't chase comfort. You chase growth. You chase edge. You chase that version of you that's still out there doing the things you almost talked yourself out of. Because comfort doesn't give you clarity. It gives you numbness. And numbness is how dreams die quietly. So you choose the opposite. You choose the pain that purifies. You choose the work that shapes you. You choose the fight that forges you into something unbreakable. And let's be real, sometimes you're going to fall, you're going to mess up, say the wrong thing, take the wrong turn, lose time, lose people, lose faith. But the people who make it, they fall, and they get back up with something new in their eyes. Not shame, not regret, fire. The kind of fire you only earn when you've been through the valley and didn't stay there. Because rock bottom isn't the end. It's the start of clarity. That's where the world strips away what doesn't matter and asks you one question. Now what? Now that it hurts, do you still want it? Now that it's quiet, do you still believe? Now that it's just you and your choices, do you still have fight? And if the answer is yes, even a tired, whispering, barely breathing yes, you win. You win because you stayed. You win because you didn't run. You win because you faced yourself and didn't flinch. So don't stop now. You're not chasing motivation anymore. You've become momentum itself. You move when it's hard. You rise when it's heavy. You show up, not because it's easy, but because this is who you are now. And this version of you, this one doesn't fold, doesn't beg, doesn't explain or excuse or apologize for wanting more, because you're not greedy, you're awake. Awake to your potential, awake to what it actually takes, awake to the fact that everything you want lives on the other side of brutal consistency. So show up messy, show up late, show up unsure, but show up. That's the difference, that's the separator, that's the line in the sand between the ones who wish and the ones who will. This is your life. Not a test, not a drill, not a rehearsal. Every day you let pass you by is a day your future self has to pay for, so take it back. Take it all back. The power, the purpose, the fire that never asked for permission. Let them call you obsessed. Let them call you too much. Because one day, they'll call you something else. Unstoppable. You know what people never tell you? You don't need more potential. You already have it. You don't need more time. You've got the same 24 hours everyone else does. What you need is a standard, a non-negotiable identity that you live by. Not when you feel like it, not when the stars line up, but every damn day. Because if you keep showing up as the old you, the one who hesitates, who overthinks, who waits for a sign, you'll never meet the version that changes everything. And that version They're not magical, they're not superhuman, they're just consistent. They're the one who doesn't break when it's hard. They lean in, they know pain isn't punishment, it's proof. Proof that you're in it, proof that you're changing, proof that you're not sitting on the sidelines of your own life anymore. Because the sidelines are full of people who almost made it, who almost tried, who almost became, but almost doesn't count. Not here, not in this world. Here you either rise or repeat. Here you either rewrite your story or keep rereading the same old chapter. So you decide. You decide how much of yourself you're willing to give up for comfort, how many dreams you're willing to bury to make everyone else feel better, how many more years you're willing to let slide by while you figure it out. Or you burn the excuses. You go all in. You say, no more maybe, no more almost, no more someday. You take today, you take this moment, and you squeeze everything out of it. You show up like someone who's already paid the price and refuses to leave empty-handed. That's what wanting it looks like. Not the hype, not the speeches, not the highlight reels. It's the repetition, the reps you do when no one's watching, the truth you tell yourself when no one's around to lie for you. It's the choice to believe, not in what you've done, but in what you're still becoming. Because if you really want it, you stop talking about the dream and start living like it's already yours. You stop waiting for motivation. You build discipline. You stop waiting for the right moment. You make the moment right. And every time life tests you, every time it throws something in your way, you look it in the face and say, I've been through worse. I've survived darker. I've come too far to fold now. Because this is personal. This isn't just a goal. This is your becoming. And nobody gets to steal that from you unless you hand it over. So don't. Keep it. Protect it, fuel it, and every step you take from here, make it loud, not in volume, in purpose, in intensity, in intention. Move like someone who's not waiting for life to hand them peace. Move like someone who's creating it. Because how badly do you want it? Badly enough to stop proving and just start being. Badly enough to carry the weight without the applause. Badly enough to build the life you said you would. Then this is your moment, right here, right now. Start walking like you own it. You want a secret? There's no perfect timing. There's no moment when it all makes sense. No golden light, no cosmic sign, no chorus of angels saying, now you're ready. That's fiction. What's real is this moment, this breath, this decision, this heartbeat that says, I'm not waiting anymore. Because every second you wait for permission is a second you could have used to move. And if you keep waiting for someone to validate your vision, you're going to wait yourself into regret. So start where you are, even if you don't feel prepared, even if you're scared, even if your hands are shaking and your mind won't stop doubting you. Do it scared, do it unsure, do it without applause, but do it anyway, because that's how it happens. Not all at once, not with one giant leap, but through 1,000 quiet moments of choosing yourself. That's what it means to want it bad enough to look foolish, to want it bad enough to be bad at it before you're great, to want it bad enough to fall flat and then stand up louder. You want a better life, build better days. You want freedom, master discipline, you want confidence, stack it one uncomfortable win at a time. That's the formula. Simple, brutal, true, and yeah, some days will suck. Some days you'll doubt everything. You'll feel slow, you'll feel behind. You'll feel like everyone else has it figured out and you're stuck in neutral. But that's the illusion. They're struggling too. They're scared too. They're making it up as they go, just like you. The only difference? Some of them kept going anyway. They didn't let fear have the final word. They didn't wait for confidence to show up. They earned it through action. And that's what you're doing now, step by step, brick by brick, rep by rep. You're not just building results, you're building a reputation with yourself. So when the next storm hits, when the pressure comes, when the world starts to test how real your commitment is, you won't flinch, because you've already been through worse. You've already pushed through silence. You've already built something no one can see, but you feel it in your bones. And that's what separates you from the rest. You're not here to try your best. You're here to make it happen. You're not here to dabble. You're here to dominate. You're not here to live kind of happy, kind of fulfilled, kind of okay. You're here to take everything you were born for and bring it to life. So no more shrinking, no more delaying, no more hiding behind maybe someday. It's today, it's now, and it's you. Own it.